anytime I see one of those things where they're like, well, add us as a friend, or do this, or do that, I encourage you to go do it. It's going to help me in the long run, I guess. I don't know. Like, I need any more friends out there. We are going to go to our next guest. She is going to join us on the telephone here in just a few moments. And workplaces that work is what we're going to be talking about today. And the website, workplacesthatwork.com. Lynne joins us on the telephone. How are you, my friend?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Now, workplacesthatwork.com. Tell me a little bit about Workplaces That Work.
Well, everybody would like to have that, right? So working involves having everyone feel engaged and happy and productive at work, however you're working these days, whether you're Zooming or whether you're able to be in person, those kinds of things. So starts at the top with leadership and modeling, but, we would hope that people in the trenches feel engaged and happy at work also.
Awesome. We have got a great guest with us today. Joining us here on the telephone, Lynne joins us. Check out workplacesthatwork.com. And so you have got a lot of great books, and you've got a lot of great things going on. Tell us about how you got started in this facet of your, I guess, life or career, or how did workplacesthatwork.com come about?
Well, I started my career actually as an employment attorney. So, I spent 10 years standing in front of federal judges. Because of that, it's a little difficult to insult me because I've been insulted by professionals.
That's fantastic. I've been insulted by professionals.
Yeah, but, it's not your job usually to insult me. At any rate, so I did that for a long time. And then I transitioned into doing mediation and other kind of conflict management. I wrote a book on conflict, and then I wrote a number of other books on, how people can get along at work, how they can build teams and leadership at work, and those kinds of things. So I have been doing that for the second half of my career, and, work all over the country doing that in normal times, when we can get on planes again, right? Now I'm doing a lot of Zooming, aren't we all? And webinars. We do a lot of webinars and things like that. So, again, really helping people, deal with conflicts at work and just, I think work should be fun. We spend too much time at work not to have fun, but it also has to be productive.
So, do you find this Zooming to be a cool deal, or because I did Zoom once because we had a guest who wanted to do Zoom, and we did Zoom, and you can add like cool little backgrounds and things. Like I was able to use our green screen and do all sorts of cool stuff. It looked like I was on the set of that what the hell was it? The PBS show years ago, Stargazer. It looked like I was on that show, but but I just find Zoom to be terrible as far as the interface and things like this, because we've been using Skype for a number of years. When we started doing this radio broadcast, my co-host at the time, Mr. Ross Long, the rabble-rousing ringleader, told me that we need to use Skype. We need to use Skype. We need to get video. We need to do the video thing. And we did do video, but at the time, the only people who know how to use Skype were porn stars. So, although we did interview an Amish author who knew how to use Skype, which just blew my mind because I didn't know the Amish used technology, but he knew how to use Skype. So now over the years, we're doing this Zoom thing now. Comparing it as far as having meetings and things, does Zoom? Was Zoom easy when they were doing all the COVID lockdown things and?
Well, a lot of people are still using Zoom quite a bit. A lot of my corporate clients don't have everybody back to work, so they're still Zooming. We have used Adobe for webinars for years, and I find Zoom, not to diminish Zoom, I think they're still getting up to speed a little clunkier than that, but it is handy when you're meeting with a lot of people, and you can have a number of people on the call and online, and you can see what they're doing or not doing, which, of course, you have to be careful with that because that can be embarrassing if you're working at home, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
you have to be careful what's coming through your camera. But, it's better, I think, than just being on the phone. But it does get exhausting, so I look forward to the time that we can all see each other in person again. There's actually a lot of research that's come out that if you spend most of your time staring at a screen as opposed to interacting live with people, there's literally a brain function that gets tired a lot easier. And so I think it's better, certainly, than everyone getting sick, but it is not the best. So it's easy to learn to use it. Actually, if we're back to talking just about Zoom, they have a lot of free webinars and things like that. So it's pretty user friendly once you just do it a couple times. So yeah. And I know a lot of my clients have been trying to keep people engaged, so they've been having like Zoom happy hours and Zoom team meetings and
Zoom happy hours.
Oh yeah,
So
absolutely.
it is essentially people getting drunk on Zoom.
Yeah.
Is that what's going on? Is that what we're doing during the lockdown there, Lynn?
Certainly, that's what some people are doing. You may not have been having that much fun, but that's what.
That's
some people
fantastic.
I mean, I keep joking that we've all been on the Corona diet, right? Because
yes.
That's what I find is that people have been, soothing their anxiety with eating more. So, that's still going on. I'm not sure what part of the country you're based in, but I'm in Colorado, in Boulder, actually, and we're still, in safer at home mode, and so we're not having to stay at home as much, but we are partially still locked down. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mentioned Ross earlier. Ross is in Colorado Springs, and so
Okay,
just
sure.
a few, I don't know, probably a few weeks ago, he was able to go to the his. What the hell is it? What is it they call when they stick the pins in you?
His acupuncture.
Acupuncturist. That's it. So he was terribly excited that he was able to go to the acupuncturist. So,
Well, I'm going to be terribly excited to go see my hairdresser. That's what I'm waiting for. Because, theoretically, some of those have opened up, but mine's not going to be back for another week or two. So, we're all looking a little shaggy here.
That's awesome. So tell us about your latest book.
So I'm not sure which one you have as my latest, but I know one of the things you had asked me about was the one that's called "Stop Pissing Me Off."
Yes. That is a fantastic read. Yes, I guess we'll start there. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so that's what to do when the people you work with drive you crazy, right? So, and even if you are just communicating with them through email or Zoom, they're totally capable of driving you crazy. So, that book is really about techniques that you can use to just not feel so crazy and to find a way to, deactivate those people who do feel like they're nuclear in terms of how they bug you at work or over Zoom or whatever. I actually find people have more conflicts if they're just emailing or Zooming than if they're talking in person. But so that book is it's a quick read and it's an easy read. Or if people want to, they can send me an email at lynn@workplacesthatwork.com, and I'll send them a free long article that talks about some of the same techniques. So that's kind of an overview of it.
Now, this book, Stop Pissing Me Off, which is amazing. Why did you decide to write this book?
Well, actually, I had written several books for the same publisher, and they asked me to write it. I mean, they knew that it was in my wheelhouse, in my lane in terms of the kinds of things that I write. And so, they thought it was a good take on my work. But a lot of my work has really revolved around that, about conflicts. We all have conflicts. I think that it's easy to think of workplaces as dysfunctional. People are constantly saying, "Oh, my workplace is dysfunctional." Well, trust me, they all are, right? And so it's a matter of getting our skills up to a level where we can deal with whatever conflicts are going on. Conflicts are just a part of life. They're not good or bad, they're just a part of life. And so it's a question of learning the skills, which are just like learning a new computer program. It may be painful for some of us, but it's not impossible.
So, your latest book is out there, and so you write a lot of books. What makes this latest book different from some of the others that you've written?
Well, so this book, I think, is perhaps much more practical in the sense of being a how-to. Some of the others are a little bit more theoretical. So this book, like I said, is a quick read, and it's kind of go through these steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so it's a lot easier. It also, every chapter has a story about a specific workplace conflict that I've helped people work through. So, of course, I've disguised the names and backgrounds to not embarrass the guilty, but it is easy, I think, to relate to the stories because these are very common workplace stories.
So when you sit down and put this book together, what's the writing process look like for you?
The writing process, there's no magic to it. I think it is just a matter of, putting your body in the chair every day in front of your computer or however you write, and making yourself write, preferably every day, or if you can't write every day, as often as you can. And even if you are feeling uninspired, or if you are feeling like you don't know what to say, just writing something. And once you have a draft of a chapter or a book or whatever, then you can fix it, or your editor can help you fix it. But if you don't get the words down on the screen or on the page or wherever, then it's difficult to fix. So that's my experience. Is just it's a discipline. It's like exercise or brushing your teeth or whatever. It is a matter of just making yourself put something on the page, and doing that regularly, and eventually there it is, a book.
So, what's been some of the different reviews you've gotten on the book so far? What's some of the feedback that you've gotten on the book?
Well, again, people find it very practical, and so I think that's what people like about it. And I think it also helps people feel less lonely, because people can take it all very personally, can think, oh my goodness, it must be me, or it must be my workplace. And sometimes people want to just keep changing jobs because they think that wherever they're working is there's got to be someplace better. And sometimes that's true. I'm not saying don't ever leave a job, or certainly if somebody's abusing you at work, you should leave. But I think that it's important to know that you're not alone, that there can be a solution to whatever troubles or conflicts or upsets you're having at work. And so I think people find it very helpful that way.
We have got a great guest with us today. Lynne joins us live at Workplaces That Work. Check out the website, workplacesthatwork.com. So, Lynne, I guess before we go here, my friend, where can people pick up your books and get involved with you on social media, all that?
Well, of course, they can get my book on Amazon or wherever you buy your online books. Boulder has a great bookstore if you're ever in Boulder, so you can certainly get them there. If you go to workplacesthatwork.com, you can join me on LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter, and just go to workplacesthatwork.com. Like I said, if you email me at Lynne, Lynne, at workplacesthatwork.com, I'll send you a free white paper that really explains the basics of this book that we've been talking about, which is called Stop Pissing Me Off, What to Do When the People You Work With Drive You Crazy.
Fantastic. Well, I appreciate you making time for us today. Thanks for coming on our big broadcast and chatting with us. Have yourself a wonderful day, Lynn. Appreciate it, my friend. Thank you.
You also, live long and prosper.
Definitely. Thank you, Lynn. Appreciate it, my friend. There she goes, and we are going to take a timeout. And when we come back, we have got more coming up on the other side. More after the break.